Polls spell trouble for Biden with Hispanic voters. Welcome viewers, please subscribe and hit the notification bell for more updates. President Biden has been mired in a stretch of disappointing polls, but recent surveys suggest he's having particular trouble keeping the support of Hispanic voters. A Quinnipiac University poll published this week found that just 26% of Hispanic voters surveyed approved of Biden's job performance, the lowest mark of any demographic group. A drastic decrease in support among Hispanic voters could foreshadow a disastrous midterm election for Biden and Democrats, particularly after that bloc seemed to sour on Biden in states such as Texas and Florida, while propelling him to victory in key battlegrounds such as Arizona and Georgia in 2020. And while Biden's approval numbers might not correlate directly to support for Democratic or Republican candidates in November, Democratic voters low on the president could be less likely to show up at the polls. Hugo Lopez said, "If Latinos are disapproving of the president's performance, how might that translate into the congressional elections in November? That could translate in two ways. It could translate into Latinos choosing to support a non-Democratic candidate, whether that's a Republican or an independent remains to be seen in the different congressional districts, but the other way that might happen is that Latino voters may not feel motivated to turn out to vote," added Lopez. The Quinnipiac poll published Wednesday showed Biden's approval rating at 33%, marking a low point for the president in that poll. But his approval among Hispanic voters in the poll was even lower, at 26%. Demographic subgroups such as Hispanics are notoriously difficult to poll in national surveys, as language barriers, geographical isolation, and smaller incorrectly weighted sample sizes can skew results. Still, the poll continued a downward trend for Biden. A poll from the university published on March 30 found Biden's approval rating was at 36%, and 32% of Hispanics who were surveyed said they approved of Biden's job performance. John Anzalone, a pollster for Biden, said, "I think that a lot of time, there's this narrative in D.C. among Democrats that you only talk to Latinos about immigration." Underscoring Anzalone's point, the March 30 poll found 31% of Hispanics surveyed pointed to inflation as the most urgent issue facing the country, more than any other topic. 12% of Hispanics in that poll cited the Russian invasion of Ukraine as the most pressing issue, and 12% said immigration was the most pressing issue. And while Biden's low overall popularity means he won't be a surefire campaign tool to boost sagging Democrats, he is also not on the ballot. According to a March report by the Pew Research Center, 50% of Hispanic voters say they are leaning toward or certain to vote for the Democratic candidate in their districts, while 28% said the same of Republican candidates. That's roughly in line with surveys ahead of 2018, according to Lopez, an indicator that there isn't a massive shift in Hispanic party affiliation, as some Republicans have claimed. But Hispanic communities have historically been tough to get to the polls, and a combination of low voter enthusiasm and new restrictive local voting laws could reverse recent improvements on that front.